Okay, so in this video, I wanted to talk about the MacBook Pro 16-inch. I used this machine for about 3 months now, and I have some thoughts that I wanted to share about it. So consider this the review after someone who's used it for 3 months. This is my experience and what I think about. So, in short, this is the best computer I've ever owned. And I wanted to also mention that the computer that comes in second place is my Mac Mini, okay? The M2 Pro Mac Mini is a fantastic machine, and I used to have the M1, which was also beautiful to use. And ever since the M1 came out, I've been so pleased with the Mac computers that it's just crazy. But this machine in particular, it actually has a couple of things that, aside from the M2 Pro, right? Like this machine also has something like the SD card reader, which is fantastic to use. The speakers are actually, believe it or not, better than the 2019, which were stellar. You know, like, yeah, they had the Intel CPU and we did not like the overheating on that machine, but the speakers were actually fantastic on that thing. And this one is even better. Like, it didn't need to be better, but it is. And one of my favorite features is the battery life, which is about 20 hours, depending on how you use it, of course. And the battery life is just so enjoyable. It is great, especially if you're getting a big computer like this and you can sit on it for hours, not on it, next to it. You know what I mean? Makes you very happy when you're using it. The thing that surprised me is actually the screen also. The screen is a big 16-inch screen, high refresh rate, very accurate color, very bright. And it was actually a lot better than I expected. And again, I'm comparing this to the 2019 version, which I actually thought was fantastic, but this one is actually better. Now, it does also have the HDMI port, which is nice. It has 3 USB-C. The MacBook Pro 16-inch from 2019 and actually had 4, but honestly, I think 3 is enough. So it's not a complaint, it's just something that I noticed. The keyboard is great, the trackpad is fantastic. I'm so happy that the touch bar is forever gone, hopefully. Hopefully Apple never makes that mistake again. I did not like the touch bar at all. I hated it even to the point where I turned off most of it because I kept accidentally hitting it. It's a long discussion. Anyway, the buttons are back, which is way more enjoyable. And so overall, all of these things with that CPU, with that, very intense SSD write and read speed, all of these things combine this into the perfect machine. This is the perfect computer. Now, I will admit that sometimes when I'm editing videos, which I do a lot, I sit next to my Mac Mini because I like the big screen. Now, yes, I could connect this MacBook Pro to that monitor, would not be a problem, but it's just one of those things where I'm just being too lazy to connect this thing to the screen when I already have my beautiful Mac Mini to it, right? But all in all, I just feel like this is the perfect package. With this machine, you have everything you want in a computer, except for gaming. But this is actually an area that I don't even look at when it comes to MacBook computers. If you're into gaming, like, just turn off the video and look for a PC laptop like a Razer or something like that. This machine is for productive people want to work efficiently and don't want to get distracted with games and stuff like that. So I need to mention the most important aspect of a MacBook and why I recommend these machines compared to something like a Windows laptop, and that is macOS. macOS is the greatest thing to come to computers. macOS is intuitive, it's easy to use, it's got so many cool features for productivity reasons. And it's not just that, like, let's say you want to edit videos or create music or do spreadsheets or, writing stuff, like macOS has you covered. You have all of that software, whereas with Windows, you actually have to, download and pay for software. With macOS, it's a complete system. And what's even more impressive with macOS is that every year there comes out a new version of it, and you get it for free. With Windows, you have to pay for every version, and it does not come out as often. And that's a whole Mac versus PC discussion that I don't want to get into too deeply. I just wanted to explain some of the benefits with using a MacBook with Mac OS. It is, again, for people who just want simplicity, efficient ways to work. And, there was a time when I absolutely hated the MacBook and the Macs and the iMacs and all of that. And I was a straight PC type of person because I liked the idea that you could build your own PCs. And I used to build PCs back in the day. And I loved it because when you felt that you wanted more GPU power or you wanted a bigger hard drive, you can just put it in. With the MacBook Pro 16-inch, with all MacBooks, with all Mac desktop computers, there's nothing to upgrade. Like, you can't upgrade. It's all tightly connected in these machines, and it's just not possible to upgrade on your own. And this is the only real downside. The gaming thing, it doesn't bother me, but the fact that you can't upgrade your computer whenever you want to, that makes me a bit sad. So for example, I did get more storage on this thing than I usually do. I got something like a 1 terabyte option at first, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to upgrade it, but I sort of did my own calculations and I sort of expected how much storage I would actually need using a MacBook Pro. And I'm comparing this with when I was using the MacBook Pro 16-inch 2019 model, where I only had 500 gigs of storage and it did not last me long. Like, my project files were sometimes bigger than that. But the way I use my computer when I edit videos is I have a project, and when I'm done with the project, I delete it and I do backup of the video files. And so for most of the time, 90% of the storage is free on my MacBook Pro 16-inch. And so I calculated that I only really need 1 terabyte. But it would have been nice to be able to upgrade it in case I wanted more storage, but I will not be able to do that. But storage is not a big problem because you can connect an external SSD, and I made videos about this. Some SSDs I've recommended. But yeah, it will be nice to be able to upgrade your computer on your own, but that's not the way Apple does things. Now, it has a lot of cool things to this machine, things that are back that were missing in the previous versions, and the CPU performance and GPU performance is, oh my goodness, so fast, so enjoyable to use. And it is the best computer experience of my life. Of course, I don't know what the future holds, but to this point in 2023, it's something like June or July now. This is by far the best computer experience I've ever had. It is expensive, but for the first time in a really long time, I actually happen to think it's worth the money. And that's why I actually made a video where I was talking about how I today actually recommend getting a spec'd out computer. I actually don't think that's a bad deal where, Apple screws you over or anything like that. It's actually a very good investment for your future enterprise. Anyway, that's all I had for today. Hope you enjoyed this little 3-month review of the MacBook Pro 16-inch, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.